Hey, you guys. It's a little after 8:30 p.m. For some of y'all are possibly preparing to go to bed in a couple of hours, but I've already been to sleep. I took a nap and I had a really disturbing dream, and I need to share it with y'all because this might help somebody. I had a dream, and I typically have very vivid, very detailed dreams, and it's crazy because lately I haven't been able to remember my dreams, where usually I can remember at least who was in the dream and what happened. But this particular dream, God allowed me to remember it. I was in an office building, a really tall office building, and it was like I started at the bottom, but the higher up I went in the building and the more doors I went in, the more lost I became. And at one point, somebody, I guess, took pity on me and sent somebody with me to show me where to go. And because I was so distracted by, because a few times we ended up on like staircases outside, I was so distracted by what was going on outside and being like afraid of what was going on outside that I didn't see where my guide was going. So when I looked up, the door was closing, but I didn't know which door it was. So I went through the wrong door. So I couldn't find my guide. I didn't know where I was. I didn't even know where I was going. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything. This dream, I still feel kind of funny and feel kind of disoriented from it because I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't know where I was. And I woke up so disturbed from the dream. And I asked God, I said, "Well, God, why did you let me dream that dream? It was so weird and I felt so bad and I felt so lost. Why did you let me?" I mean, I was literally everywhere. I ended up in somebody's apartment where they had two dogs, and one of the dogs was like a cross between a Dalmatian and a greyhound, a big huge dog. And the dog was about to bark, and I was like, oh, I was like, please don't bark. And really, all the dog wanted was to play. And I remember petting the dog, and the dog was wagging its tail and was so excited. But I'm thinking, how did I end up in this person's house? And where am I? And what am I doing? And at one point, I ended up coming across a church inside of an office building. And it was almost like the church service was being filmed, and people were sitting there. And I realized where I was, and I ducked down behind the last pew. Never have I ever been in the church and hidden. Now, that was the scariest part of the dream. Then I was thinking, I got to get out of here. I'm not supposed to be here. Pastor, not supposed to be in the church? Okay. Well, I'm like, okay, I'm not supposed to be here. So then I ducked back down and snuck back out of the church. But as I was sneaking out of the church, I began to see flashes of myself doing things that were outside of my character, risque, ungodly things. And I'm thinking, well, God, what in the world? What is this? So I, sneak out of the church the way that I came in, and I'm still in the building. I'm still lost, and I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going. And I'm like, God, why did I dream that dream? And it was almost like I was mad with God. I was like, God, why in the world did you let me dream that dream? I was so disturbed. I was out of breath. I was disoriented. It was very weird. And God said to me, Persephone, every time you think you have it figured out, every time you want to go your own way, every time you don't listen to me, I want you to remember how lost you felt in that dream. Y'all, it was disturbing. Now, in real life, am a little afraid of heights. I haven't been that high up in my life, to be honest. Never been on an airplane. Um, every time I opened the door to one of the outside staircases and I was up high, I was afraid. And it was my fear of what was going on outside that made me lose track of the woman that was supposed to be guiding me to the right place. And in life, God will send people to you that will show you where to go. And because we're distracted by fear, because we're distracted by wanting to do our own thing, we lose sight of the person that God sent to guide us. the way that I felt in that dream, I don't ever want to feel that feeling again. So that was a reminder to me to listen to God with everything, for everything, about everything, because I don't ever want to be lost like that in real life. And then once I got that revelation, God said, now share it. So I'm like, okay, mind you, had my hair up in the bun. I had to wipe my eyes out. I had to do this. I had to do that. I was like, well, Lord, let me slap on a earring. Just one pair of earrings, okay? Let me put some on my lips. I started to put some concealer on my nose. God was like, if you put concealer on your nose, I'm gonna beat you. Tell the people what I said. Because between the time it takes for me to film this and upload it and the time it takes for someone to watch it, you could be helping somebody, Persephone, to not feel the way that you felt in that dream. So I might be looking a little crazy. I might be looking a little, out of character for how I usually look when I film videos, but whatever. Somebody needs to hear this. Don't get lost. We usually call those that aren't saved lost. But saved people get lost too. I have been lost many times since I've been saved. Listen to God. Please. Don't end up where you're not supposed to be. Don't get distracted and lose your guide. And for all that is holy, when you end up in church, don't hide and don't leave. I probably should have stayed there, right? But anyway, I love y'all so much.